Over the past 3 years, I've been a pretty active guy. Been out on my road bike, laps in the pool, open water swims, long runs, really didn't matter, I loved it all. All of that came to a crashing halt about 4 weeks ago. Most weeks, I'm training 6, sometimes 7 days a week. Up early, 5:30, 6 o'clock on a late day, I'm out running, getting into the pool to get some laps in. On a weekend, maybe it's a long bike ride or a long run. Maybe it's driving over to a park near me and go get a trail run in. But that structure and routine became very much part of my life. So when the doctor said I had to take 5 to 6 weeks off, it was tough. I knew it was going to be tough. That first week, not a problem. I was in pain, I was recovering from some surgery. That first week was easy. Week 2 through now, this is week 5, was starting to get back into doing a little walking again, just trying to get back into that kind of structure, but with a lot less exercise. But I realized I was concerned with, losing fitness, and I wasn't fast to start with. But I decided that this might be the time to kind of rebuild what I was doing instead of what organically grew into my schedule, where I was probably doing too many events and a lot of activity. Maybe this time around I could be a little more focused on some of this. I'm a mid-50s age group athlete living in Oceanside, California, named Keith. Years ago I used to live a pretty active lifestyle. Apparently I thought that was too easy. Figured I would wait 30 years, gain 80 pounds. Weight was topped out at about 310 pounds. About 3 years ago, I made a serious change in my lifestyle, got back to being active, and since then, been a pretty mediocre, back of the pack age group guy who enjoys doing triathlons and ultra marathons. Nothing about this is about going after podium finishes and being elite. It's about being an everyday guy who still has to balance responsibility of life, work, family, travel, and everything else that easily affects all your training. This series is how I can rebuild my fitness in a different fashion after taking a couple weeks off due to some injuries. I'm going to be showing the good days and the bad days. I'm sure I'm going to be balancing all the weird things life throws you from work, travel, family, and everything else. But you'll see a lot of my training videos, running, riding, swimming, all along the California coast, because that's where I live and this is where it all happens. But for me, this series is really about that accountability and forced consistency to see if I can improve to maybe I can shoot wild and go for a middle of the pack age group athlete. That'd be great. There are going to be races on my calendar this year. I am going to try to be a little bit more selective. I think the past 2 years, it's kind of a little all over the board. This year I'm going to be a little more selective on the events that I'm training for. I'll have some other events along the way that are really just fun, what we do with family and friends. But an Olympic triathlon is what I'm really going to be my main target for the rest of this year in the September-October timeframe. This is really about accountability, consistency, getting through that movement, and seeing if I can't be a better athlete while building a sustainable, active lifestyle that I can do for many years to come as I get older and older. That's really the goal. Healthy, active lifestyle I'm having fun doing while I'm working on that consistency and improvement in general. I don't really know how this series is going to end. At this point, I'm just going to focus on documenting the races, the training. I know there will be some great experiences and adventures along the way, along with plenty of the curveballs that life throws at you that'll get in the way. But I'm just going to focus on that consistency, showing up. I hope you want to join me in on the journey, and we'll see where this goes, and maybe we'll both learn something together.